Now, hold on. Now, since I've completely forgot every thought that I had prior to this, let me refresh. Action, action, action. This is service learning performed by the person, okay? Now, it can be short. What you looking for? Oh, there you go. Okay. It can be short. It can be a few days. It could be a few hours. It can be months. It could be a semester. It could be a year. It could be 2 years. There's usually no time limit on service learning. Now, when we think of this, right? Because there's supposed to be 3 elements, right? Academic enhancement, civic learning, personal growth. If you do not have all 3 of these, you do not have service learning. So, think of it like this. There are some who are called to sow the seeds. There are some who are called to water the seeds. And then there are some who are called to harvest. I think sometimes in our action, we think that we are supposed to be able to do it all at one time. Sometimes we are not meant to do it all in one time. Some people come in. In fact, I missed one part. Some people come in to till the ground before seeds are sown. So you got 4 parts. There's some people who come in, write this down. Some people who come in who till the ground. There's some people who come in, plant the seeds. There's some people who come in, water the seeds. And then there's some people who come in to collect the harvest and finish it out. A lot of times what happens in our action, we think about our action is that we have to do everything at one time. You're going to put this burden on your shoulder to do what? For what? Do not try to harvest when you are called to water. Do not water when you are called to till. This is a part of everything that you do. This is a part of the action. See, because what the book doesn't say is a lot of times the work that's going to need to be put into this, depending upon what community you're in, depending upon what you're doing, depending upon what you're called to and what your purpose is. And sometimes, as young people, and I'm going to say this, we try to knock everything out at one time. Oh, I got to get this done. Because a lot of times, here's another thing they're not going to put. A lot of times when you're dealing with changing communities and you're dealing with trying to go out to the community and help people, you are dealing with heart and head situations. You're dealing with people's hearts. You're dealing with people's minds. Because sometimes people can't see the vision that you have. Sometimes people's hearts ain't open to it because they've been hurt. That's why these things take so long. I was and still am helping. Let me show you. This is action. I am a part of a group that's out in West Volusia that is a racial reconciliation group, biblical racial reconciliation. The pastor of this church, and I mean the church, Snow White, he was like, in my first 2 years, he's an older gentleman. He's like, in my first 2 years, I don't think I ever saw a person of color walk through the doors. And he said, when I saw that, I knew something was wrong. That's why me and him, and I mean this old dude, you would have never thought that we would end up being friends. But when I say the first thing I had to do was try to till that ground present new ideas and new information to people that have been stuck in their ways for the past 70 years. That is tough work. That is tough work. He just retired. And he still wants to continue the work of racial reconciliation. The thing about it is now we're going to have to try to find new ways to get it done because he's not the pastor of that church. And when I say people wasn't very open in their nice Southern hospitality way of showing it, they weren't. And if you're from the South, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Reflection. This is a very important part. Reflection. What do you think reflection is? Talk to me. Talk to me. Looking back. What else? Nah, he good. Reflection. Looking back. What else? Analyzing. We'll come to that, but that's a part of it. Yes. Anybody else? Making corrections. That's good. So the last two are reflection and assessment. Reflection and assessment. What you want? You want to sit up here? Reflection and assessment are the last two things. Now, this is the thing. Reflection and assessment don't necessarily go at the end. Reflection and assessment are something that can be... Stop kicking. Thank you. Look, he out. Look, he was. You saw that smile he gave me when I stopped him, right? Reflection and assessment aren't something. I'm gonna have to hold your feet. Reflection and assessment aren't something that have to happen at the end. It's like this. It's like making changes and looking back while you're going. Reflecting how you can do what can be done differently, what needs to stay the course, right? Because what happens is that a lot of times we can get what? Tunnel vision and just go and then not think about, maybe I might need to make a change here. Or maybe I might need to look at this a different way. Because sometimes we like, oh man, this is a good idea. Everybody's going to love it. Everybody's going to love it. Everybody's going to this is going to be great. And it goes in the opposite direction. So as you're moving in this area, right, you want to make sure that you are being reflective consistently. You want to make sure that you are analyzing consistently because your assessment is not just after everything is said and done or after your portion. Your assessment is before you go in, while you're in the middle of it, and then at the very end, once you're done. Okay? Because I think sometimes what happens is, especially when it comes into this academic game that we're in, is that people want to put it in neat boxes, right? We're going to have preparation and we're going to plan, and then we're playing, it's ready for action. And then after action, we're going to go back and we're going to reflect. And then after we reflect, we're going to go back and assess the situation. When it's all said and done, really all three of these things, this is me this time, all three of these things are merged into one and are happening consistently. They are happening consistently all the time. Another problem is sometimes when things are going right, we tend to not assess them, even when the stuff is working. So when things are working, the thing that you have to make sure that you're able to do is you have to be able to assess even when things are working perfectly. Anybody have a sports background? Play sports, watch sports, right? So what happens when timeouts, halftime, when the offense is on the field, the defense is on the sideline, defense on the field, offense on the sideline. There's constant adjustments, even when you might be tearing the team up. What are they doing? How can we go out and be better? How can we go out there and be more efficient? Right? Any band members in here? Band. I think I met you a few weeks ago. I did? Okay. You could have the perfect practice. Ain't you gonna go back and look at it? Isn't there always gonna be something that you can correct? Why? Because you're always assessing. You're always reflecting. What can I do? What could I have done better? How can I do it like this? See, when it comes to service learning, when it comes to leadership, it will never, no matter how much somebody will say, it will never fit in a pretty box. Ever. Ever. Go look at some of your Black history leaders. Tell me how pretty all of that stuff was. Tell me that they just sat in a room and was like, yep, yes, Dr. King, that's perfect. We think that will go over just well with the whole community, and we think we should just run with it. Do you not know the arguments that went on behind closed doors? So it's not in the midst of the preparation, the action, the reflection, and the assessment. Do you not understand? So it's not going to be able to fit into this pretty little box whatsoever. And it's going to be a constant thing all the time. I'm going to prepare. Because once you assess, right? Once you reflect, assess, then if there's an assessment and a reflection and you feel that you have to change, then you have to re-prepare. Because you can't go in with the same idea. You can't go in typically, let me say it like that. Typically, you don't go in with the same idea that you have for here. Now you're going to do this. So now you have to re-prepare for other scenarios that might come about. So understand, I'm going to make leadership as ugly as possible for you. I'm going to make leadership as ugly as possible for you, so you can see how beautiful it is. Because that is the beauty of leadership. The beauty of leadership is for different minds, different ideas, different viewpoints, different worldviews to come together, to work together, to form a common unity. And that's what it's all about. Now, for you all, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to keep in mind as you are matriculating and going through your time here, your journey here at Bethune-Cookman. Do you want to get down? 1, 2, 3. Is this. Take some time to go to different places around this neighborhood.
I tried, let me tell you.
No, talk to me.
And they tried to get me over there. Like over there, the dog was chasing me for real.
Which, like over here, back behind the CE, yeah, that maroon, that one house that sit there on the corner of like Oak and what is it? And Garden. No, because I used to live on that house on the corner of Franklin and Oak. Yeah. Well, you might need to go in front of U-Haul then. Shoot, you might have to change up your route. All right. But when I say this, right? When I say this, I mean start off with like businesses, right? I'm friends with several business owners in the area. There's one down the Ave going this way, like you're headed towards Ridgewood. It's called Midtown Cafe. Y'all been there? Man, look, smoke. Get that tropical sauce on it. Look, y'all gonna make me like praise the Lord up in here on y'all. Don't try me. But get to know these people's stories. Get to know these people's why, and see ways that you can get involved. Like they came here, opened up a restaurant. They want to open up a black museum. An art gallery featured a black artist. Did y'all know that? No. The food is great. You need to sit down and talk to the owners, Mr. Sidney and Miss Karen. It might be the only Karen you like. That might be. That's okay though. So please understand how these things go about. Look at the questions you ask, Lord Jesus. You can ask in an assessment. It's in your module. Go check out those questions. Go see how things can do what? Once I reflect and I assess, I come up with a new plan, how things can continue to change. Remember, leadership is ugly, but in its ugliness, that's where you find the beauty. All right? I'm going to let y'all get up out of here. Have a good day. I'll see y'all next week.